Ethan, when you walked in, Seymour was actually telling the story about the musician, and I forget who
Michael Rabin.
Yeah, Michael Rabin, who actually conquered his phobia by dropping the bow. Did you arrive at an equivalent?
Ethan, you told me that you stopped talking on purpose and you let out a scream, and the audience thought that was part of the script, right?
The important thing that I took from not only Seymour, not only that Michael Rabin story, but was the notion of that you didn't need to be ashamed of those feelings. You know, that feelings of, when you're touting yourself as a professional, you know, insecurity and feeling of inadequacy can seem like some kind of horrible blemish that needs to be hidden. And what that can start to do is just start tripping you up, that this idea that you, and what I feel like, I think part of why I made the documentary was simply to spend more time with Seymour and to explore the subject more thoroughly with him. And the idea that not only was it not something to be ashamed of, but it's quite possible something to be proud of. That you are opening yourself up, that you're putting yourself out there, and that any sane person who's serious and values what they do might have feelings of inadequacy. Do you know that was a sane response?
See, this is what I tell my pupils and everyone, my colleagues. On the day of your performance, when your head and your stomach change places with each other, you go to the mirror, you look at yourself in the mirror, and you say, I have a right to be nervous. And you give yourself all the reasons why you have a right to be nervous. You're doing something, of course, this, you have to expect that you're prepared. If you're not prepared, you suffer a stage fright from which there's no return. But if you're prepared, you have a right to be nervous because you're responsible. You're responsible to your art, to the audience, to your own integrity, right? So once you accept your right to be nervous, you stop fretting about it because you'll never get rid of it. So the only thing you can do is to practice so hard that you perform well in spite of your nervousness. And Ethan does this magnificently, and I have done this, and when I finally learned to do that, I didn't need to do it anymore. And of course, you know the story that's in the documentary about Sarah Bernhardt.
This is the clip that actually has been
she said to the young
shown
actress, honey, when you learn how to act, you'll get nervous.
It reminded me, when Seymour and I met, it reminded me of something that, a very similar thing that Tom Stoppard had said to me once. I was doing a new Tom Stoppard play, and I was just apoplectic. It was around the time Seymour and I met, apoplectic with nerves, and I said, Tom said, you know, how are you doing? And I said, really, I'm incredibly nervous. And he said, well, you better be. And I was thinking, that's interesting. So anyway.